Kanye West made it popular to be a fucking asshole, but at the same time, a lot of people hate Kanye West when they want to hate Kanye West.
No, yeah, for sure.
And they love him when it's the popular thing to do. Just like we said, people only love you at the top. People only love you when you're doing well, not when you're down bad.
People gonna be people. I always say that, like, through, like, when I give advice to my friends, when I give advice to people, like, people always gonna be people, because it's just like you can't really do anything about another person's point of view, or, like, you know, where they coming from in their head, because they just in their head, you know. No matter how much you want to convince them, or, like, you know what I'm saying, prove to them that they wrong, it's just like some people had their mind made up. So it's just like in that spectrum, I'm just saying also, like, I feel like 10 times of the people that want to see you fail is probably gonna be like because you at the top.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. I'm your host, Matt, and today we got a special guest. I mean, every one of them is special, so go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
I'm Preme, you know, DJ, A&R, artist, Chicago. Yeah, like, you know, just that guy.
He's that guy. Like, you guys definitely need to keep an eye out for him because he's been doing a lot. You know, let them know, like, what you're up to, what you've been doing. Obviously, you've done a lot of DJing. You've opened up for Lil Keed. You've opened up for Lil Tecca. A lot of different artists. So go ahead and talk about that experience a little bit.
Man, you know, so lately, honestly, it's just been really crazy. You know, I just been working with, like, my friends and just working with, like, my team and stuff to, you know, just keep, like, building up, like, my Preme Night Show brand and stuff. And, you know, just to keep DJing and being outside and just, you know, like, honestly giving the people my energy because, you know, I love music. But, you know, those experiences from, like, opening up, like, for people and stuff, it's always been cool. Like, I always used to, like, imagine myself when I was little, like, opening up for, like, my favorite artists, or, like, you know, just, you know, going to certain venues that's just so legendary and stuff. So anytime I get a chance to do stuff like that, it always just feels surreal. And, like, I'm just really thankful that I could even, like, do stuff like that, like, at this age, too. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, at 22 years old, you're able to do all this shit, and you've been doing it for a minute. Like, the Tecca show was about 2 years ago. We were just talking about that shit. So for you to have done that at the age of 20, that's fucking crazy. Not to pit any of these artists against each other, but which one of them was your favorite to do?
My favorite, definitely Keed. Like, well, out of Lil Tecca and Lil Keed for sure. But I think the past one we just did, when we did Pusha T, like when me and my homie Sonny did Pusha T, like, that was just, it was something weird in the air about that day, and not like weird in, like, you know, like a bad way, but it was just like, you know, it just all seemed like it happened, and, like, we were supposed to be there to, you know what I'm saying, show who we are, and, you know, to just showcase our talents and stuff like that. But honestly, you know, my favorite will always be Lil Keed, West Peace Lil Keed. Like, that show was just amazing because, one, it was last minute, and, like, also it's just like, you know, I've always messed with, like, the whole, like, YSL and, like, their music and stuff like that. So to, you know, not only open up for him during a time where it's like he's one of like a very, like, big rising artist, and, you know, got, like, a hot mixtape out and stuff, but it just also gave me more, you know, things to learn about, like, through DJing and through, like, you know, being a part of shows, and just knowing that it's always not about, like, you know, being on stage and just, you know, playing music. It's just more about controlling the crowd, and also just, you know, like, being a part of something of that night, you know. So
Damn, bro, I feel like you kind of got into the next question I was gonna ask you, but you know, from all of these experiences, and there's so many more, you know, obviously Summer Smash, you've DJ'd at Summer Smash 3 years now?
Yeah, well, 4, yeah. I think, yeah, 4, yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you've taken away from all of these experiences? So, I mean, whether it's one big lesson you learned from one night or all of them collectively.
I always try to make myself know that this is only just the start, and that, you know, sometimes as artists we get into, like, you know, certain modes and certain type of things, even when we are, like, in our highest moments. You know, it's always something, like, that's, like, a little negative, or, like, something you think you messed up off of, like, during the event that's gonna, like, throw you off. But I think I always try to take what I learned from a DJ's point of view, and also, you know, just remind myself that it's just the start, and that, you know, even though, like, these accolades are cool, like, you still got more work to do, you still got more things planned, and, like, you still got more stuff to prove, just because, like, this is something you love, you know. Like, I really take it. I feel like sometimes I feel like I take it too serious, but like also I have to take it too serious to the point where, I can be able to, what I'm saying, put my best self out there at any time I step on the stage. So
You talking about that, it's like that imposter syndrome, and
Definitely.
it's a blessing and it's a curse, because just like you said, when you're doing so much work, and it goes further than just artists, right? It goes into geniuses. It goes into people who are great at a sport or great at just anything they do, that sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough and that there's so much more work that can be done, that needs to be done. And people will tell you, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I have, right? Where people tell me, like, you got to enjoy this wins, you got to enjoy your successes and be proud of what you've done. But then you're like, I didn't do shit. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. And there's so much more to get done, right?
yeah, definitely.
So I know you have a lot of, an extensive music background. Your cousins were artists. So talk about that and, like, what you learned from them as well.
Man, like I just honestly think growing up in a manor, like that was like, cause I'm from like Jeffrey Manor. That's like the real southeast side of Chicago. I still call it the east side because it's still like the east side for real. But yeah, like just growing up in a manor and like really being around my cousins was like really one of the most like pivotal things that kind of shaped me as into learning music, and just also growing up with like my mom too. Like my mom's like a super like music head, and like all like music was always around me, no matter if it was like CDs, posters, like like video game music related, or like you know like MTV music videos are always on through the house. Like it was always in front of me. So like just to always see it and always immerse myself in it, it always made me want to like kind of be like that. And like just on like my cousins too, like I always heard like cool like Chicago urban legends and shit, like oh yeah, like them be like them like kind of like being around like the time where like Chief Keef and them was like coming up, or like
Your
you know what I'm
cousins?
saying? Yeah, like just like in the drill era, or like like them being around like Twista in the early days and stuff like that, just hearing stuff like that and hearing them like go to the studio and like make music and kind of like live out their dreams and chase their dreams, that always made me want to like do the same thing.
That's Preme, guys. That's the long intro. We gave you a long intro today, but make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and we're definitely got a lot to talk about today. Let's get really into it, right?
Let's do it.
The topic today is, why did I meet you? And that's really like the question you kind of gave to me, right? It was the experiences that we have with people and just really full circle moments in life. And it really made me think of like, why do we meet people, right? We meet people because they're meant to teach us things. Some are meant to hurt us and we learn from that. Some are meant to help guide us through life, and some are meant to just help us, rise above it all. You've had a lot of opportunities and met a lot of different people where you've gained so much insight. We just went over it, right? There were so many opportunities where people reached out to, even if it was last minute, to do a show, the Lil Tecca show, the Lil Keed show. You were able to, be on the same stage as Pusha T. All of that shit, it's like, why did I meet you? So for you, why do you believe that we meet people?
That's a good question. I think we meet people like just like you were saying, just off the experiences of life. Like I feel like everything in life happens for a reason. Like anything you do in life happens for a reason, no matter if it's minor, minuscule, or like super big. Like, and I just think we meet people because we have to not only learn from people, but we also have to go through things with people to be able to like evolve. Like like evolve not only like mentally and spiritually, but like just evolve as just like your everyday self. And some people are like more introverted, and what I'm saying, don't like people, or like don't like try to stay by themselves because that's what they like more. But like it's some other people that are like way more like conversational, and like to meet people, and like to build and stuff like that. So I think we meet people just for like just to really evolve as humans, to be real with you.
Man, I've talked about it so much, and this is what I was telling you before, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this show is really discussing experiences in life, right? It's discussing things that we all go through and connecting it to music. But when you think about it, it's like we haven't really dove into what happens when we do meet these people, or why do we meet these people. Just like I was saying, a lot of the times these people are meant to teach you lessons, whether that lesson is to protect your energy, whether that lesson is to, not trust everybody and just be to yourself. Sometimes you got to be alone to grow, and sometimes you got to be around people to grow. What I did want to focus on is the positive first. The song that came to mind was I Need a Doctor by Dr. Dre and Eminem, right? I know you got like a lot of music knowledge, so I could have gone pop, I could have gone anywhere, but I chose this song because I was just searching and I saw it. Eminem says, "You saved my life, now maybe it's my turn to save yours, but I can never repay you. What you did for me is way more." And I chose this, right, because you don't meet people by accident. You don't meet them by chance, and they always come into your life. And even if you were given something first, right, that doesn't mean that you can't repay that later down the line.
Definitely.
That no matter when you meet somebody, who you met, and what position they were in, you're doing just as much for them as they may have done for you. And I think that that's an important lesson to think about, right? Because a lot of the times we see these people who are in a higher position. We see these people who have more money or have, everything they could have asked for. But we don't think about the other side of that. Like, what are they going through mentally? What are they going through emotionally?
Especially as artists. Like, I feel like it's so crazy you said that. I was just talking to somebody the other day. I was like, people think artists just like, no matter on what level you on, like if you showing some type of, success and some type of, positive thing. And like, I do want to keep it on the positive note too, but like, I feel like,
we're going to get into the negative.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in general, like, I feel like as artists, like if you showing some type of positive thing or like, showing like, like, I wouldn't say like you winning, you probably are winning, but at the same time, it's like, that don't mean people have people like that don't have emotions or feelings or like, or don't have like personal life battles that they go through with like people or like, like just, even in their career, like, stuff could look smooth for a person, like, and then like also it could just be like behind the scenes. You don't know what people be going through to get into these rooms and into these, like, certain places to be able to make themselves, shine and to be able to show people what they bring to the table. So sometimes it's even hard enough to like, meet people or like, even have that experience because you got to fight through so much stuff sometimes.
That's exactly it, right? And I've talked about that a lot, where people don't necessarily focus on the lyrics, or they don't focus on what somebody's saying, what they're portraying through their messages. They're just taking the message, and if it sounds good, all right, let's vibe to it.
Sure. Sure. It's so many artists, bro.
But I actually wanted to ask you a quick question before we get into, the negative side of that. For you, who comes to mind as an important person that has helped support you, just like not necessarily the Eminem Dr. Dre scenario, but somebody that holds that significance to you? Because knowing the history, right, Dr. Dre literally saved Eminem from not being who he is, and if it weren't for Dr. Dre, Eminem probably would have just lived an average life, doing what he did in Detroit.
Man, honestly, I just think it's just like my main support system, like, it's really small, but like my mom, like all my best friends, like Wamo, Travis, D Money, like just people that like that have seen me, because like I usually say this a lot of people don't see me like, like really be more expressive and stuff like that, because I try to really, deal with it and like try to, really try to make sure that every situation that I go through, either behind the scenes or just even with DJing, that, that I learn what I need to learn from it and keep it, like, try to keep it moving. But like, I just think like my mom and my best friends and like, just people who have just been seeing me from the beginning, not even just since like 2018, probably just since I was like 14 trying to DJ at high school. Like, it's people like that who always just, always remind me and keep me in good spirits, because these days, like, you never know like what people intentions are, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you never know, who's really on your side or who's really just like, there just to be there for space. So it's like, I just really appreciate like my real day one, like, family, like just because I know for some people it's hard to even find, a person in your family that's even gonna support your like career, or like a person that you even related to that's gonna support you. So yeah, like my mom and my best friends for sure.
For you, what situation, and you don't gotta like get into specific details or anything, but what situation has made you come to that realization of you can't really trust everybody, or that not everybody's gonna support you? Because like you said, when it comes to family, sometimes it's hard to find those people that are just going to support you.
Most definitely.
Luckily, I think that doing this for so long, my family's come around to the idea, and they're like, okay, he's serious about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So for you, what instilled that, I would say, kind of wall that you built? What built that wall for you?
I feel like I'm still building it. Like, I haven't like fully like, kind of gotten over the fact that some people don't support me, because it's just like, you'll support people, or like you'll show so much love to somebody, and you know what I'm saying, they'll just look at you crazy or some shit. But like, also, can we curse?
Yeah. No,
cool. Yeah, so like, I just think of shit like that, or like, also I would say just, growing up, like I said, like, I'm like a chubby black fat kid, you feel me? So like, just growing up and like seeing certain shit and like going through certain shit with people is just like, like either they making fun of you, or like they don't think like, you worth it, or like, you not worth the position, or like you not worth the slot. So it's just like, all that stuff, like it may hurt me in the moment, or it may hurt me for like that week, but like I know it's to happen so I could, build on top of that, and just not only show myself but show the world like, yo, like I'm really one of them ones, like, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like it's experiences like that, and also too, just like, like when you fall out with like your homies, or like, just like stupid stuff, like a lot of times stupid stuff happens so like you could really get back in tune with yourself, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's times that I've had that, it's times that other people have had that. So it's like, it's usually lessons in anything you go through. So I just think those are like some of the situations that taught me personally, like how to, overcome stuff, and just, how to deal with things.
Sometimes I like working as an underdog, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I love it, bro. Like I love, like, I think that's one of my favorite things, because like I'm a big basketball person. So like my friends hate me. I compare everything in my life to like the league and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I really be feeling like that. Like just like, like it's so many like cool like underdog stories that like make you like, okay, like it's not only okay to be that, but it's also okay to prove everybody wrong when like your back is against the wall. Because sometimes I feel like people, will shame you for that, to like trying to prove people wrong, or like, you know what I'm saying, oh, why you going so hard? Why you doing all this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, like you don't know how much, things mean to people, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you don't know how much opportunity means to people, or like, where their vision is and where they're going. So it's like, you can't really tell a person like, you know what I'm saying, fuck, like not to say fuck everybody, because usually it's like artists and like people who be working, they usually have their back against the wall. So it's like, being an underdog, I feel like it's one of the most coolest things in the world, to be honest with you.
A lot of the times people don't see that vision the way that you see it, and I guess you could kind of compare it to when you're young, right? And all the kids pick on you because you see things different, or you want this more than somebody else wants it, and you always got made fun of for like being the tryhard, right?
I'm thinking of something right now.
But think about it like that, right?
Yeah.
And I think about it that people don't respect the vision until it's come to fruition. That everybody wants to be there at the top with you, but nobody wants to dream it with you.
You just said it.
Yeah.
Like, for real, you just definitely
That's
said
the
it.
clip. Let's take it back to the negative side of this, where why do we meet people that, these people who continuously doubt us, these people that continuously say that you can't do it, or people that, poses your friend, poses your number one supporter, and then eventually they just kind of stab you in the back when times are, you feel like you're at an all-time high. These lessons are placed in front of you so that you can learn, and there's just so much that goes into it, right? Don't trust anyone. Protect your energy. Shit like that people will just leave you when times are tough but want to be there during the good times. I think of songs like Don't by Ed Sheeran, or Bad Day by Justin Bieber. There's a lesson with every song, every life experience.
Yeah. I'm a mood music guy. Like, I like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm in a certain mood, I'm listening to some shit. So I definitely understand, like, lyrics and just like, feeling something when you in like a certain mode or like you in a certain mood or some shit like that. Cause it's just like, you know, you be feeling like you was with them in the studio or like, you know what I'm saying? Like they telling your story. So like I definitely get it for sure.
The album that had me like that recently was Givion's Give or Take. But we talked about that all of last episode. So when you see that shit on Friday, let me know what you think. But I chose Don't because Ed Sheeran, you know, I think he's a fucking phenomenal storyteller. Castle on the Hill, he talks about how, you know, all these experiences with his friends and now they're so far away from him, but you can see all of their lives and it's crazy how everything turned out. Or this Don't, right? Don't fuck with my love. My heart is so cold, shit like that. And that's because the girl fucked them over. You know the song, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And then Bad Day, Justin Bieber says, no, I didn't think you would let me down that easy. Oh no, girl. And I didn't think it was over until you walked away like it was nothing. And I think about that shit, right? Because it's like, don't even take it from the standpoint of relationships, right? Take it from the standpoint of people that people will just easily leave. People will easily leave and give up on you. And, you know, it was a bad day for me, but at the end of the day, like, you still walked away while I was having one of my worst moments. Now let's take it to Kanye West, right? Runaway.
My boy.
Knowing the story behind that album, you know the story behind that album, right? After the Taylor Swift incident, he disappeared, started doing his own thing, went to Hawaii, made a whole album. And, you know, let's have a toast for the douchebags. Let's have a toast for the assholes. Kanye West made it popular to be a fucking asshole. But at the same time, a lot of people hate Kanye West when they want to hate Kanye West.
No, yeah, for sure.
And they love him when it's the popular thing to do. The reason I brought this up was because it's like, just like we said, people only love you at the top. People only love you when you're doing well, not when you're down bad.
I feel like also, and I don't want to just blame this on people. I just want to say the masses too, because like everybody ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got different type of, you know, like, you know, different personalities and stuff like that. But I also will say like, there are people that don't want to be with you when they're starting out, but it's also gonna be 10 times as more people that's trying to tear you down when you're on the top, like for sure. Like I've seen it through, like, not trying to flex or nothing, but like, you know what I'm saying, I've seen some of my, like, you know, like own friends that, like, you know what I'm saying, that possibly got more experience than me, or like, you know what I'm saying, that work with these artists that go through these things in the news and stuff. It's just like, you know, like people gonna be people. I always say that, like, through, like, when I give advice to my friends, when I give advice to people, like, people always gonna be people, because it's just like you can't really do anything about another person's point of view, or like, you know, where they coming from in their head, because they just in their head, you know. No matter how much you want to convince them, or like, you know what I'm saying, prove to them that they wrong, it's just like some people had their mind made up. So it's just like in that spectrum, I'm just saying also, like, I feel like 10 times of the people that want to see you fail is probably gonna be like because you at the top. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just like people don't just even give a fuck when you at the bottom, but it's like I feel like at the top, that's when people want to see you up, people want to see you down, people want to see you sideways, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like I feel like it's just the journey, to be honest with you.
I feel like there's always gonna be people hating. I mean, just like you said, for as many people that don't want to support you, there's gonna be 10 times as many people that want to tear you down. I've low key seen it already on like my reels. Like, also, especially with the King and Nez one, bro, like there were so many people commenting like, why is she saying this? Oh, like, what the fuck? On my most recent one where I say that, you know, this shit ain't random, I didn't get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was like, oh, sometimes you need luck, don't think you're special. And it's like, nah, like it's not about the luck. It's the fact that, like, yeah, a lot of people will put in work to be successful. But there's another 1% that's going to work even harder than those people that work hard. That's what people don't see, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Definitely get what you're saying, though.
I just think that, you know, these experiences with people and the way that you continuously grow from this shit, that's the crazy thing, right? Especially when you don't always think about it. You just go about your day, and then you one day reflect and you're like, damn, this moment made me this way. I low-key just had a conversation with my mom where we were kind of talking about, you know, the characteristics and the traits that me and my siblings have, right? You probably had this conversation with your family.
Probably, for sure.
My mom's like, I wonder if I would have been a little different, you guys would have turned out different. Like the things that are wrong with you, they wouldn't be problems. And it's like, why? Who wants to be a perfect person, right?
Yeah, I was just saying that the other day. I was like, man, it's not nobody on this earth I know that life is perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how you could like paint it, no matter how you wanna, you know what I'm saying, draw it up. Like, nobody go through a smooth process in anything. Like, it's always gonna be bumps and bruises and all types of obstacles and shit like that. So it's like, yeah, like nobody lives a perfect life. And like, don't think everybody got it all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I was saying earlier, like especially from like my point of view, like as like a rising artist in Chicago, like just like people would think you got everything, like all the connections in the world, or like access to all the tickets in the world, or like just you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you having your way, you could go anywhere and do anything, and it's just like it's not that I can't, but it's just like. Also, like, don't put those expectations in me because either you want me to help you out or you want me to just, you know what I'm saying, like, like be on like some flex shit, like, and like that's never like been my vibe with like people or anything like that. I always try to like draw for something that's like genuine and try to, you know what I'm saying, like really, really build on just, like actual people instead of like, what we doing like for like a living and shit like that.
What's one of those tough moments that's been crucial to your development?
Man,
as both a person and an artist?
It's a couple as a person. I think just like, you know what I'm saying, like growing up, like I came from like I ain't come from like no crazy ass household, but like my living situation was definitely like not normal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit was not normal. And like just to see my OG hold it down for so long, it was just like, like that shit gave me like the ammo to like really like, all right, like one day like I gotta really go crazy with this shit, so like this shit could be like, it looked like it could pay off, like, you know what I'm saying, or like my mama could like finally sit her ass down so she won't have to worry about nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's certain shit like that, and just like, like I said, like different family situations to like, losing people in life. Like I haven't lost a lot of people in life, but the people I have lost has definitely been like very effective on me, because it's just like, one day they here and one day they gone, you know what I'm saying?
How would you say it did impact you, right? I think back to me, right? Because yeah, I've had my losses, and I've also, I think that everybody's situation is a little bit different. So for you, like, what's one specific situation or one specific moment that you feel has been really crucial, and how, like, in what way did it affect you?
I used to live with my auntie. So like me and my mom, we used to live with my auntie like in Jeffrey Manor and shit like that. And like it used to be like a house for like 11 people type shit, So not only am I like not at a home, like, you know what I'm saying, not at like the crib, but like also too, like I'm with all my cousins, like all these motherfuckers got different personalities and shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like they my family, I love them, but it's like it's a lot to go through as a young nigga, like, just growing up, and like you don't even know half the shit that's going on, like, you know what I'm saying, and I'm probably like like 5 or 6 or some shit, like, still like, like a little kid. So it's just like I always go back to those days, because it's negatives and positives, like it's like I said, it's negatives with like losing people, not even just like, oh, like relationships, but like people, like, you know what I'm saying, like unfortunately like losing their lives and shit, and like just watching people like go through life in front of your face and dealing with that shit as a young kid. That's the shit that kind of kept pushing me as a person, because I really wanted to like kind of get away from the shit, like, so like as a kid, like I like at one point, like I just stopped going outside, like I really was into myself. That's when I started tapping into music and really like, just, studying everything, because like I just felt like I couldn't connect with like anything that was around me, because it was just like so much loss going on, and just like, like I couldn't, it felt like I couldn't control it, and like when I, like every time I go back to that, place, it just like, you always try to learn, like, okay, like this is where you come from, and not only is this gonna be the one of the reasons why like you gonna make this shit, like you gonna make your career and like whatever you want to do a reality, but it's like you gonna thank that shit for happening, because it's just like that shit wouldn't have happened for you to be able to, be in this mode or like be in this certain way. So that's what I think is just like, like just, growing up in like a weird ass household and just like, what I'm saying, like not knowing anything that's going on. You just gotta roll with the punches because you're still a kid, But also, I just want to say as an artist too, stuff that like has like impacted me positively and negatively. I would say honestly, just meeting people who I've looked up to my whole life, like that shit, bro. Like I don't even want to be on like no super fan shit, like no none of that shit. But like I'm a very passionate person, and I take moments and shit very very seriously, like because I know like even though I'm very bad at taking in the moment at that time, I still know that like some of this shit is priceless, and some of this shit is just like this is the only time you're gonna see this shit. So it's just like when I see DJs who like I used to look up on the internet on YouTube and shit, like invite me out to places, or like what I'm saying, want to let me kick it with them, or like learn from their point of view of DJing because they're around the same age as me and shit like that. That shit keeps me pushing as a DJ, because it's like like not only are like my goats recognizing me and telling me I'm one of them ones, like, but like I could actually go apply it and actually keep growing and not make the mistakes they did, or like like just keep trying to prove myself, so I can not only like no disrespect, but like possibly be bigger than them at one point, like what I'm saying. So it's definitely that, but also like with the negatives, it's just like dealing with like behind the scenes shit, or like just having people not take you seriously enough, because I feel like at no matter what level you are, like it's always going to be a percentage of people that's not going to take you serious, no matter if you like fucking Kanye West. It's like you said, it's people that hate on Kanye West when they don't want to hate on, like when they want to hate on Kanye West. So it's like people don't have to always take you serious like as much as you take yourself serious, but also it's just like what that builds in me is just it just shows me that I'm obviously probably doing something right, just to take the certain precautions of where I want to go with this shit, and not listening to anybody else, whatever they trying to give me, or like whatever they trying to steer me to. I'm gonna always keep my myself going. So
man, you hit a lot of good points right there.
Yeah, I be talking this shit, so yeah.
So let's take it back real quick to the meeting people that you literally never thought you would meet. I think that's one of those moments that it kind of makes you starstruck for a minute. And man, I wish that people who weren't in like entertainment or anything like that would be able to experience that. Maybe they do, right, with the fucking any type of art or any type of science shit like that. But when you do this shit and you think about meeting a Chris Brown type, Drake type level person, and then you're able to do it, not saying we've done it yet, but then you're able to do it, it's like, damn, I really never thought I'd meet that person in my life.
Shit, it's not even, for me, like, yeah, it's like that, but it's also like, like, I'm not gonna want to be friends or meet every famous person in the world, like, what I'm saying, because like that shit just too hard. like that's like some like like some super hard life shit.
Those
but
are
like
some side mission
quests.
That's
a lot of side missions to do when you like outside of shit. But also I think it always come down to your key inspirations. You know what I'm saying? Like who have I met? I've met like so many people that like really just what I'm saying, even with just enjoying people music, like Lil Keed, for example, like just like even being in the same space with him and just what I'm saying, sharing the same stage with him is just like, bro, like I be bumping your mixtape at the crib, like what I'm saying, like I always tell artists every time I meet them, no matter if they super big or like no matter if they super like just an artist I fuck with off SoundCloud or some shit, I always tell them, I be like, bro, like I genuinely play your shit. I genuinely, what I'm saying, fuck with you and what you got going on, because I'm sure they probably don't even get that shit a lot of the times. And it's just like, it's so hard to find genuine regular people on that level. And just as a up and coming artist too, like I always heard this saying, it's just like your idols usually become your rivals. And it's just like I've experienced certain things like that because, people don't want shit to change, or like people don't want the next generation to come in and shit like that. But it's like also too, like you gotta ignore that shit, because the people you did meet that you look up to already then stamped you. So it's like you don't even need no other type of validation or any other type of, yes or no's from anybody. So
What's one of those situations, if you don't mind going into that?
just people like smile in your face and then like, you know what I'm saying, try to like, just I wouldn't say like ruin you, but like kind of like make it tough for you. You know what I'm saying? And like I like a challenge. I ain't complaining about shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I gotta go through some shit to go get some shit and you don't think I'm finna go through all this shit to get this shit, then you got me fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But those are those full circle moments that you talk about, right? Those full circle moments where your idols become your rival, or those moments where you're able to, you go around, right, and you take a look back and you're like, damn, I was there, or I was in this position where I was hoping this would happen for me. I was hoping that a perfect example, meeting those people that you never thought you'd meet. And then for me, it's being able to do that interview for them. Just like Drake said in Over, it's I know way too many people here right now that I didn't know last year. Who the fuck are y'all? And it's like, yes, I do know way too many people. And that's the scary thing sometimes, is that you know all these people and it's really like, who are you? Like, why are you here? Like, why do you care? You know what I'm saying?
Like no diss, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a really nice person, bro. Like, for real. Like, I'm genuine with everybody. But like, it's a lot of motherfuckers I don't know. And like, that come with like, the game of this shit. Cause it's just like, you're gonna get bigger the more shit you do and the more people you be around. So it's like, you kind of gotta expect that. But like, also it's just like I be mad uncomfortable because I'm so used to like my environment of like people I already have and friends I already have and shit, and just like shit I see every day. So I definitely do feel that like just like it'd be like, what I'm saying, people will know you would never see a motherfucker before in their life, and you'd be like, how you know me asking me that question type shit, or like, what I'm saying, like appreciate like the support from people like that, but also just be like, like art, like how we were saying earlier, like artists have private like lives and shit too. So it's just like I don't know everybody in the room, but like I appreciate them people. But at the same time, it's like half of them people be there to either to support you, or half of people be there just because, like, So
For you, what do you feel like is one of the most important lessons you've taken away from somebody?
My dad, he always be telling me like the ball is always in your court. Like, what I'm saying, like, and I feel like that just means like, anything you got going on, any situation you got going on, you got the power to either make this shit go right, or you got the power to either make this shit go wrong. Like, just with anything. It could be just picking your shirt out like in the morning, like the ball in your court. Like, what you gonna do? You finna wear this shirt, you finna not wear this shirt, you finna, what I'm saying, switch the shirt, whatever. Like, it's just like like the ball is always in your court. Like, I feel like people feel like sometimes they feel powerless, or like they feel like they don't have enough energy or like enough, say so to do things or to prove themselves or to even just protect themselves in situations, no matter if it's like physically or like, what I'm saying, like just, like experiences with people or like falling out with people, or just like, protecting their craft and protecting who they are as a person. A lot of people don't feel like they have the power to like, step up and do that because, like, they've probably gone through some shit where it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that, or it'll be okay, you know what I'm saying, I'll worry about it, because I've gone through shit like that too, like just, always being like I wouldn't say like a yes man, but like, always trying to make sure everybody around you or everybody that's involved in something like goes away happy. And it's like a lot of times that shit not gonna happen because it's like everybody gonna have a different opinion or a different way they feel about some shit.
And it's also draining on you.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's the most important part of it all. It's like, how do you feel? Like, like people, like you can like, it's always important to know people's point of views, and what I'm saying, know, oh, like maybe this person feel this way, blah blah blah. But also you gotta also like make sure you protect yourself in the most truest way possible. You know what I'm saying? So nobody will be offended or nobody think you coming at them, because it's like, like it sometimes, it like in situations mistakes can be made like that. Like, you could be protecting yourself, but it could really come off as too selfish or like, too self-involved and stuff like that. So I definitely feel like is ways to do that for sure.
And that's where you got to say your boundaries, really. It's like, let people know what you're about. Let people know that what you need from them, but also what you expect from them. And that's when you mention that, it's like you have the power to make sure that, you know, I wouldn't say relationships, but friendships or like business connections,
Shit,
like
everything, right
don't
or
fall out,
wrong.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that depends, right?
Yeah,
Because
it do depend though.
because it also depends on the reaction of the other person. And a great saying that I heard, and I said it in a different interview, was that you can only have expectations for yourself. You can't have expectations for other people, because then you're just allowing yourself to be let down. And that's that's the hard part, right? Especially when it comes to relationships, any type of relationship. It's really that you can't be the one putting in 100% all the time, or you know, because at the end of the day, once somebody lets you down or once somebody is sabotaging it on their end, it's like there's not much you can do to save that.
Exactly, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
I think that that's one of those most important things, especially when it comes to, you know, why did I meet you? It's, you know, what purpose did you even serve in my life at that point? You know what? We'll get into relationships. I didn't want to have to do it. I didn't want to have to do it this episode, but we'll get into it.
Sure, yeah.
What was the purpose in meeting you? Why did I meet you? And that's really the question that a lot of people go through once they break off a relationship, right? It's what the fuck did I learn from you? Why did I fucking put this time into you? Because this time and effort could have gone into anything else, and I spent it and wasted it on you. But at the end of the day, like, nothing's a waste if you learn from it.
Nothing is an L. Like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is an L. Like,
last night took a L, but tonight I bounced back.
Yeah, like, nothing is like a super L unless you just go fuck it up and, like, you know what I'm saying, waste all the juice on the table. Then that's you. But you know, nothing is an L. Like, you gotta learn something. You gotta learn things out of everything, no matter if you in the right or the wrong. Like, you gotta learn shit just because that's what's supposed to evolve you as a person. And if you not gonna take the criticism, like, you know what I'm saying, that like the situation is give you, not only the person, but situations can give you criticism and actions and in signs and shit. Like, I just feel like, you know, like, you're gonna be probably like in the same cycle doing the same shit. So it's like, I definitely feel that for sure. Like,
what do you mean that situations can give you signals?
I feel like, you know, like just even on some like relationship shit, like, you know, you would be like, oh, is this person for me? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, is we supposed to go do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And it's just like, you know, sometimes.
Am I supposed to pop out with this
Yeah,
girl?
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Am I supposed to, like, you know what I'm saying, move how I move with this person? But it's just like the universe will throw you signs, and maybe you may not genuinely notice it. Like, you maybe be like, damn, like, I didn't even notice that was that bad back then, whatever. But like sometimes,
all the time.
yeah,
all
you know,
time.
like damn, that shit look crazy. Like when you look back on it, but
Red
like also
flag.
exactly, super red flag. But like also, I just feel like, you know, it's your choice as a person to either ignore it or like accept the fact, because usually like either it's trying to teach you to, like, you know what I'm saying, do a certain move, and like, I wouldn't always say move on, but like you can also retract your energy to a certain extent from a person or like a situation and stuff like that. But like, that's how I feel like situations could give you signs. Like, I feel like just life is always, you know what I'm saying, I feel like life does this thing with people where it's just like a thing will be in your face, but like you won't look at it until shit is hitting the fan, or shit is, like, you know what I'm saying, coming down. It's just like, it's been that whole time.
I think it's until you're ready. I think it's until you're ready to see the sign that's when you'll realize it. I think that's the most important thing to think about, right? Is that you need to be ready to accept that sign and to take that lesson that you're supposed to learn, especially when it comes to shit like that, right? I didn't want to get into this because I talk so much about that, but I think that especially with this topic, that's a very important thing. You know, just like I said, why did I meet you? What was your purpose? It's okay, you served this purpose in my life. Now I gotta go experience some new shit, or now I gotta go use this lesson and give it to somebody else, type shit. I think that's one of the craziest things to think about. And this topic, we could talk about it for days, right? You know, we've already talked about, you know, your experiences growing up and how they impacted you. We talked about how with relationships they impact you, and I think that there's just so much more to touch on with this, but I really want to just kind of move on from it. And, you know, I want to close out with the last thing, right? Summer Smash. Go ahead and talk about your experience with that, and, you know, What lessons did you learn there? Who was one of the most influential people you met there?
First of all, shout out all my Lyrical Lemonade guys, man. Like they like them guys been keeping me like, straight for years, just on like, opportunities and just being in the mix, and also just like, just knowing great people. So first and foremost, I like to appreciate them, and just like, Speaker Box people for always not only inviting me and like shit like that, but like also like, like when I DJ private events or like when I do concerts and shit, like, I feel like motherfuckers always like always have like this thing in their mind, like, oh yeah, like if it's anybody, it's Preme, like, you know what I'm saying? And I love that for sure, because it's just like like I said earlier, like I try to really put like not only my best self out there, but I also try to put my best performance and my best foot forward when I'm DJing out there. So the fact that like, people look to me to be able to do like cool shit like that is just always cool to me, for real.
So you usually do their private events?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's Jake. Shout out Jake. Jake is an amazing DJ.
Glow Up Jake?
Yeah, Glow Up Jake. Yeah, that's my boy, man. We've been locked in for like, since probably like I was like 18 or some shit. But yeah, like sometimes I do some of this stuff. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll be there. Sometimes I won't. But it's just it's a good relationship to have, because like they just like as of right now, music in Chicago, like if your shit not coming through there, then it's like like what the fuck, like what I'm saying, what people on for real. So it's just like, and they all, like I said, they always been like genuine people. So like if I ever like wanted to do some shit, or like what I'm saying, they got some shit coming up, like like I will always be like, hey yo, like blah blah blah, or they hit me like, yo, like you want to come like DJ this shit, blah blah blah. Like it's just that's always cool for me. So yeah, definitely.
So I feel like this is kind of an obvious question, redundant question. You're tapped in with Cole Bennett then, right?
That's my boy. I wouldn't say we tapped in like, oh, I text him every day and all that shit. But like, cause if I'm keeping it 100 with you, that's what motherfuckers wanted to be. And it's just like, you can't always do that with everybody. No diss to him. Like, what I'm saying? That's like my boy. Like, he look out for me like whenever I need it, or like, what I'm saying? Like even with just like, I remember one year, like when they first came out with the lemonades, like he was like, bro, like come DJ this shit like at like RSVP and blah blah blah. Like, what I'm saying? Like he is definitely a great person. He definitely look out for the people that surround him for sure. But like, what I'm saying? We clicked in for sure. Like I've been knowing him since like 2016. Just always seeing him around and shit like that. So like to finally also like growing, like just seeing him come from like the bottom and see him like into what he is now is just like super super surreal. So every time I see him, it's always love. Like but yeah, like I guess you could say we tapped in for sure. Yeah.
my boy been around everybody from the beginning. Cole Bennett, King of Nez.
You could put it like that.
DJ Drip. Nah, I mean that's dope, bro. And I think that that was more of a question for the people. I feel like if I didn't ask that question, people were gonna be like, "Whoa, this dude just missed the fucking most obvious question out there." You know what I'm saying?
But also too, it's not even just Cole. Like I always want to give respect where respect is due. Like it's people behind the scenes. Like I said, Glow Up Jake, the other Jake, Speaker Box people like Berto, and like the people who set up a lot of like their shows and stuff like that. Like it's people that's like not only just Cole because he's so busy, but like it's a lot of important people behind the scenes that not only look out for me, but also look out for like my friend artists, or like people that's like also in the space that want to prove something to the city as well.
I think that was a dope statement you made. That right is that. Not saying that you didn't want to be tapped in like that, but knowing that you can't be like that with everybody. I think that that's a realization I'm coming to more recently, is that, all these people that I do interview, of course I want to be fucking, like, I don't want to say best friends with them, but
I kick it with them type
I
shit.
want to be cool with them. But at the end of the day, like, you can't be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not that, they're not cool people, that they don't want you around, but it's just that you got, like, everybody's on their own thing, and everybody's just trying to fucking make
it. Motherfuckers be busy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers be out here putting in work. Like, that's the whole reason of this shit, is just to really put in work and, like, show why you here. You know what I'm saying? Like you always gonna meet amazing people. You, like, even with us right now, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might not hit me up every day type shit, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could invite you to like some shows or like, you know what I'm saying, we could kick it somewhere, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, it's all different type of relationships, but it's always the good thing about it is, even though you can't like have access to those people all the time, at least it's always love. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That was the hardest thing for me to learn, is that is because you're so much surrounded by that negativity sometimes that people only want you around, not like they want me around, but like say you or say Drip, right, that people only want them around because of their popularity or because of the clout, right?
And stay around for motherfuckers like that. I ain't gonna
and you know people are hitting you up saying like, oh, like get me in here, get me in there. I never wanted to be that person, so that's why like if I'm gonna have like a friendship or like a working relationship with people, I want to make sure that they know like I'm not on that bullshit.
That's the thing I don't do. Like, people be expecting me to get in everywhere because I'm Preme. But it's like, I don't like asking people to like, you know what I'm saying, oh, give me this, give me that. Because I know it's 1,000 other motherfuckers that's going to hit your phone on the same shit. So it's like, maybe like the way I'm asking not going to be that demanding. Or like, you know what I'm saying, I know my boundaries with people because it's like, you know, like, that person got stuff to do that day, or like, you know what I'm saying, they got stuff to set up too. So it's just like, and then like, you know, so people don't ever really think about that shit. Like, I'm glad you said like, oh, can you get me in somewhere, blah blah blah, because I go through that shit so much. It be niggas I never even met before. Like bro, you don't even know my mama. Like, how the fuck I'm finna get you in somewhere that like you don't even know like my family, G? Like, it's crazy.
It's fucking tough out here. So the last question I gotta ask you, like for real, why Preme?
Why Preme? Damn, that's a good question. So I had an old Xbox Live name called Premium Lion, and I think this is common knowledge, but like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm gonna say it again. Like, yeah, it used to be Premium Lion, so I used to have it on my Xbox 360, and then all my online friends would just shorten it to call me Preme, right? So then like when my cousins found out, they was like, why they calling you Preme? Blah, blah, blah. Like my nickname around them like Q and shit, cause my name Quentin, so I'd be like, they call me like Q and shit like that, blah blah blah. So like, when the masses start calling me Preme like 2 years ago, like, yeah, like, you know, not, I wouldn't say the masses, but like, you know, when people and shit start saying that shit, it's just like, they was like, okay, cool, we can start calling you Preme. So like, I definitely over time it was DJ Premium, and then it was DJ Premium Line, then I just shortened it, it was DJ Preme, and I took the DJ off. I was like, fuck it, like, I'm finna just be Preme, bro. yeah, like.
So you're telling me it had nothing to do with Lil Wayne and Legoland?
No, not at all. That's crazy. But no. It definitely did not.
Nah, I knew. I just wanted to see your face. I just wanted to see your face.
Said that shit. Damn, nigga said Lil Wayne and Legoland. Bro, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, I was listening to the Carter 3. I was like, damn, like the first time I really listened to this shit, I was on the way to Legoland with my friend Billy for his birthday, and his mama was a CPD cop, and like she was young as hell, but like she was always in tune with like music, and like that's the first time I heard the Carter 3 on the way to Legoland for a birthday party.
Yeah, I just wanted to see your face.
Crazy,
that's why I said that shit.
That's crazy as fuck.
All right, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming through and sharing your story, bro. And I had a fucking blast. We're definitely gonna do this again, just cause I feel like there's so much more to talk, especially on this topic, bro. But that's going to be all today, guys. Thank you for watching. Sad Boys For Real. Make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.
This is Sad Boy Radio.